When I first walked into the boutique on Main Street in Seattle, I wasn't planning to buy anything. I had promised myself, new town, new job, new budget. But as I wandered past the rows of carefully hung dresses and jackets, one particular coat caught my eye. It was emerald green, long and elegant, unlike anything I had ever owned. I wasn't sure why it drew me in, but it did. Almost like it was whispering that it belonged with me. I pulled it from the rack and checked the tag. Size too big. I sighed. It wasn't suitable for me at all. But something about it wouldn't let me put it back. I tried it on anyway. It draped over my shoulders, swallowing me a little. But the mirror reflected something I hadn't seen in years, a version of myself that looked strong, unafraid, even beautiful. And that was the moment I realized, even if it wasn't the right size, I didn't want to resist. My name is Laura Bennett, and a year ago, my life looked nothing like this. I had just ended a 10-year marriage that had been crumbling for longer than I'd admit. Moving to Seattle was my way of escaping the whispers of a small town and giving my daughter, Emily, a chance to grow up without shadows hanging over us. The job I found at a local publishing house was modest but steady. Emily loved her new school. And yet, I often felt like I was floating between two lives, the one I had lost and the one I hadn't quite built yet. That coat, oversized though it was, became symbolic. I bought it. Every time I wore it, I felt like I was trying on a version of life bigger than what I thought I could carry. It was a chilly November afternoon when I wore the coat for the first time outside. Emily had begged me to take her to the book fair at her school. As I helped her carry a stack of books to the car, the box tipped. Books spilled everywhere, pages fluttering across the sidewalk. I bent down, muttering under my breath, when suddenly a hand reached down to grab a runaway book before it slid into a puddle. "Got it," a warm voice said. I looked up and saw a man mid-30s tall, with sandy brown hair and kind eyes. He handed me the book, his smile easy. "Thanks," I said, adjusting the oversized coat. "No problem. Looks like you've got your hands full." I laughed. Story of my life. He introduced himself as Daniel Carter, Emily's art teacher. That was how it started, over spilled books and a coat too big for me. Daniel seemed to appear in the most unexpected moments. At first, it was little things, helping Emily with her school art projects, stopping by during parent-teacher meetings, waving when we passed him at the grocery store. But over time, those small interactions grew into conversations. He asked about my work, my adjustment to the city, my favorite books. And though I noticed how people looked at us, single mother, kind teacher, I couldn't ignore the ease I felt around him. It wasn't about romance, not at first. It was about belonging. Still, whenever I wore that green coat, Daniel teased me. "Looks a little big on you," he'd say with a grin. "I know," I'd reply, "but I like it anyway." And each time the words felt like they meant more than just clothing. December came quickly, and Emily's school hosted its annual holiday concert. Parents filled the auditorium, lights twinkling against winter decorations. I wore the coat again, pulling it tighter against the cold. When the concert ended, Emily rushed into my arms, beaming. Daniel approached, hands in his pockets, smiling at the kids. "You two heading home?" he asked. "Yes," I said, though we're debating hot chocolate first. Daniel hesitated, then said, "Mind if I join? It's tradition for me, and, well, traditions are better shared." At the cafe, we laughed over marshmallows and whipped cream. For the first time in years, I felt warmth that wasn't just from the cocoa. It scared me. It thrilled me. Weeks turned into months. Daniel became part of our routine, helping Emily with art, walking us to the car, joining us for coffee now and then. One evening, after dropping Emily at a sleepover, I found myself sitting across from him at a small diner. The conversation drifted from books to life, and before I realized it, I was telling him about my fears. "I feel like everything is too big for me," I admitted. "This city, this new life, even this coat." Daniel's expression softened. "Maybe it's not too big. Maybe it's the right size for who you're becoming. Sometimes we just need time to grow into things." His words struck something deep inside me. For the first time, I didn't see the coat as oversized. I saw it as a promise. By spring, the whispers of neighbors had turned into assumptions. People started asking if Daniel and I were together. I laughed it off, but inside, I wrestled with the truth. Yes, I cared for him. Yes, Emily adored him. But was I ready? Was I brave enough to step into something bigger than myself again? One evening, as I hung the coat by the door, Daniel stopped by. He had brought a painting Emily had left at school. When I thanked him, he said quietly, "Laura, you don't always have to carry everything alone. Sometimes, it's okay to let someone share the weight." I didn't answer right away, but I knew. The coat wasn't too big anymore. It fit. By summer, Daniel was no longer just Emily's art teacher or my neighborly friend. He was the person who showed up, who stayed, who believed in me when I doubted myself. One afternoon, Emily tugged at my coat sleeve and whispered, "Mom, can we keep him?" I laughed, tears in my eyes, because deep down, I knew we already had. When I first bought the coat, I thought it wasn't suitable for me. Too big. Too much. But I wore it anyway, and in time, I grew into it. Just like I grew into a new life. A new hope. A new love. Sometimes, the things that don't fit at first are exactly the ones meant for us all along. And that's why I didn't resist.